In the last episode, we visited Lake McKenzie and received a traditional welcome from a Butchulla member. We learned about Fraser's timber industry history and had amazing camp dinners. In this episode, our Australian adventure continues.
So you gotta add a little bit of cinnamon maybe?
Ooh, yeah.
Kind of like a Mexican hot
Oh,
chocolate.
if you're gonna make it Mexican, capsicum, yeah, salsa, avocado.
I wouldn't do that with cinnamon.
Yeah.
Mexican pancakes. So you can use the packet stuff, and then normally, because we're camping, I'll roll it the other way so I get the crunchy bit on the inside. Just roll it up and just eat it like a little, I don't know, like a little burrito, I suppose.
There you go.
Little pancake burrito. So brother, everyone else is fed. That one is for you.
Ah, that's awesome. Thank you so much,
You're
buddy.
welcome, man.
Justin made a pretty tasty breakfast. Quick and easy recipe of his own. Ready-made pancake mix, brown sugar, and lemon drops. It was pretty good. After breakfast, it was time to pack up and head down to our next destination. One of the features that I love about the Gen 2 X1 is the stowaway awning system. It's definitely a game changer. It keeps the awning clean and it's super easy to stow away.
You just push it in, and then all of this. So it's normally easy with 2 people. And then you use this strap, this bungee, and pull this up. And that'll just help when you close the lid. Yep.
But if you, I've learned, I know the principles of it.
So we're leaving this campsite. We're gonna go to the market first. We're gonna get supplies. We're gonna get water, and we're gonna hit the beach again to find another spot.
Which is your favorite spot here?
We're going there today. My favourite spot I'm about to show you right now. So it's a place called Eli Creek, and that's definitely my favourite spot on Fraser Island. Yeah,
Great.
It's beautiful. It's a big freshwater creek, similar to what we saw yesterday, but you can swim in it. You can park the cars right beside it. Today will be a nice day. Keep coming. Yep. Keep coming. Keep coming. A little bit more. Yep.
We stop at the local ranger station on the 75-mile beach to grab some fresh water. This resource is abundant on Fraser Island. This island is formed entirely by sand and it's surrounded by salt water and still supports more than 100 freshwater lakes and numerous streams that hold somewhere between 10 to 20 megaliters of fresh water.
The showers, the cooking, washing, we run out of water kind of quick. It's so awesome that we can get water here at the ranger station, right?
After filling up with fresh water, As Huron is not far from the ranger station, we stop at the market to get some supplies.
Hey guys, do you need anything from you? Maybe paper towels if you're gonna stop. Yeah, we've already left.
Since Brad and I we were the last ones to fill up with fresh waters, the rest of the group have made it to Huron, went into the store, got their supplies, and came back out. We're just gonna stop for a little bit, get a couple things, and we'll meet them on the beach again. After picking up our supplies at the store, we met Justin and Christian back on the beach. Christian had parked his truck on some soft sand, but he was able to prevent getting stuck with no problems. In no time, we were back on our way to the next spot to explore.
So low tide, guys, you're on the right-hand side of those rocks that you can see there, and you normally just bang down the beach. But obviously on high tide, you've got to go up around the headland.
Because of the high tide, we went up into Fraser Beachfront Holidays, which is a group of 3 oceanfront properties that you can rent if you are lucky to find availability. This short detour puts us back on the beach in a short time. We arrived to Jitney Rock, which is another detour used by vehicles on the island during the high tide.
There's a little township up here, so there's houses and stuff through here. It's on a golf course, too.
There's plenty of room to park and spend the day at Eli Creek. We decided to cross this small water crossing and park along the creek. Eli Creek is the largest creek on the eastern beach of Gary. It pours over 1 million gallons of clear, fresh water into the ocean every hour. Although camping is not allowed in this area, swimming and floating down the creek is a very popular pastime for visitors. The boardwalk at Eli Creek is about 400 meters from the beach to the top, where you have access to the creek to swim or float down. This is definitely a gem.
So pure, isn't it?
Yes.
You know? But like they were telling us yesterday, the Indigenous was telling us yesterday, 90 to 100 years it takes for the water to reach here.
Better than bottled water.
Super clear water. And this is what we were saying yesterday, but it's just so clear and it's so beautiful. And you can literally, like, during the summer, like when it's, because the water's always quite fresh. It never gets hot here, does it? You know, it doesn't get cold, but during the summer, you hang out down there, you have a feed, you get a like a donut, you come up here, you float down, you kind of cool off, you know, with the whole family, and then you just keep coming up here all day. Float back, float back, float back, and it's just, man, you can just kill a whole day here.
So you were saying on the radio that this is your favorite spot?
Yeah, I think, look, that is a big call, like I just said to Brad, but yeah, I reckon this is my favourite spot. I reckon I've got the best memories of Eli Creek, and I can even remember as a kid, none of this was here. None of any of this was here. We used to come with my dad, you know, when we were camping out here, we'd come with my dad and this is where we used to have a bath, you know what I mean, as children. I can remember running up and down here with my brothers, you know what I mean, in the nude, nobody around. This is where we used to come and have a bath up here. So a lot of really good memories here.
That's awesome. It's beautiful. It's
It's
beautiful.
gorgeous, man. It's absolutely gorgeous.
After spending a wonderful time and having an amazing lunch by the water on this stunning location, it's time to head down to our next destination, the Maheno Shipwreck.
When I was a little kid, like when I was, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, when I used to come up here, the whole ship had a timber deck on it. The deck was still there, the ship was still intact, and I think I remember the stacks were still on it, but we used to play on this thing for hours when we were kids. Now there's not a lot left. You can see the ship's broken in half, but you can see the length of it. The whole back of the boat's missing now, and it's slowly, every time I come to the island, there's less and less and less.
The Mahalo was built in New Zealand in 1905, and it used to come from New Zealand to Australia, and then it was used by the New Zealand Naval, and then it was sold to Japan. But when Japan was hauling the thing to Asia,
it was under tow.
undertow.
It was undertow when it grounded.
And
Correct.
yeah,
Yep.
and the tow broke, so the thing just got loose and it landed right here.
Yeah, it was. That's right. It was repurposed.
Yeah.
They repurposed the ship for something else, and they were towing it. But that was the end of its life.
Yes.
I think they were towing it for salvage, and they were going to sink it outside. And on the way towing out, the weather come in, and it snapped the rope. See, you're an Aussie, man.
We arrived to our camp spot for the night. Cathedrals is a dingo fence campground on Fraser Island. It offers toilets, showers, a convenience store, villas and cabins, and of course, an open campsite.
As you can see, guys, it's super easy to set up the Gen 2 X1. My wife is doing the whole thing here. She's setting it up. This is the second time that we use it, so you know, it's really easy. It's you know, super easy with the remote control. It's all automated. She'd never done a setup for camping, and she's done it by herself. It's just super easy. I can't believe how easy it is to set up this Gen 2. Okay, honey. The outside, setting it up, lifting the rooftop tent is super easy. Let's see, show me how you do the interior of this thing.
Okay. Okay. And then. Okay. And then. You see us. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I need to get.
Pull it from the sheet, probably.
Easy.
It just takes practice. Once you start practicing more, it's gonna be a lot easier for you. This is the second time we do it. This is your first time. It should you should get practice, and yep. There you go. Voila! Honey, you did it by yourself. What do you think about the Gen 2?
It's super easy to build and it's effortless, and I love it because you can set up your site in less than 5 minutes.
I guess you don't need me anymore when we're camping. You can go by yourself.
No, I need you. I need you.
I saw that, and I just done a piece of camera on my camera. I couldn't believe that. Yes, yeah. So look, the design, the whole design mantra for my whole engineering team on the redesign of Gen 2. If Sarah cannot open and close the trailer on her own, it's a fail. Yeah, we're not going to market
Like that.
And really what happened, what that turned into was we got to the very, very end where we completely developed Gen 2. We were happy with it. We went away and done the final functionality testing on it. I went away with the engineering team and we were very happy with it. Then we came back to the shop and we grabbed Sarah and we said, Sarah, open the tent. She couldn't do it, yeah? So we went through a whole redesign of the tent to give it the ability to be able to open it and just as importantly close it. And I think everybody saw in the actual launch film, there's a blonde girl in the launch film. She's 19 years old. She's actually the receptionist at Patriot Campers. We took her out on the morning of filming. I showed her 2 or 3 times. She struggled with it a little bit, you know. She doesn't weigh a lot and didn't have the strength, but by the 3rd time, She was just opening and closing it like it was nothing, and it was just, and for us that was the biggest success. Not that I don't mind setting up the camper trailer, but if Sarah wanted to go away on her own with Gen 1s, she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it on her own. Now she can do every single model on her own, and to us that's the biggest success. Functionality has been the focus of Gen 2, and I think we've nailed it. And well done. I was watching the whole time. You've done a great job.
How do you choose the name of the trailers?
Oh, okay, so the X1, where the X1 actually got its name from, we were generating the file. Well, I was generating the files. I was the only person at that time in the company. I designed the first X1 from top to toe, every fold, every nut and bolt, every crease, everything I designed in CAD on my own, solely on my own. Nobody else had anything to do with it. And when it came time to generating the files, to put the files onto our server, I had to pick a folder name, and I can remember it. I was sitting there with the folder name, like, what do I call it? I'll call it X0. And I'm like, oh, X0, and I wrote the folder, and I'm like, no, that's kind of silly. I'll call it X1 until I figure out what the name is going to be. Yeah, it's a X series of trailer, like X as in I don't really know what it is, and this was before Patriot Campers even had a name. There was no such thing as Patriot Campers. So it was just an X series. I chose X, and this is my first go at it. So it was X number 1. And that's where it started. Okay. Then X2 was the next model that we decided on doing. So we called that the X2, and the X range kind of stuck, and then it moved into X3, and that's where the model names came from.
Sweet. And why Patriot Campers?
Patriot Campers was, and I do get asked this question a lot. The Patriot Campers comes from, a lot of people think that it was originally that we come up with the name Patriot Campers, for the US market. And I think there was maybe a bit of our brain that was like, it could be, but Patriot comes for the patriotism surrounding Australian manufacturing. I'm a third generation Australian manufacturer. I always wanted to be a manufacturer. I love the patriotism of the United States and the American flags and the way that they celebrate their country and they protect their country and they're patriots for their country. And I felt like that about Australian manufacturing. At that time, there was a lot of Chinese junk on the market, just absolute junk. And I really wanted to celebrate, what my company could do and what Australian manufacturing can do. And that's where the name Patriot Campers came from.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, that was it.
As you know already, there has been amazing food on this trip, and tonight is not the exception. Yois and I will be preparing carne asada tortas, sweet potato fries, and the highlight of the night, a new one for most of the crew, Mexican-style corn on the cob.
Just a go, my friend.
Beef tortas.
Okay.
And we're going to have some corn on the cob, direct on the fire.
If you've never had corn on the cob prepared this way, let me tell you, it's something you should really consider trying. Mayo, butter, Parmesan cheese, lemon, and some hot sauce. It might seem like a bit much, but I can assure you it's not. I think Justin was a bit surprised at how good it tasted.
Oh, dude. Okay. I think you guys just topped the meal of the trip. Wow.
It's addicting. Okay, yeah.
There's so much going on. Oh, there's so many different flavours going on there. That's epic, mate. Well done. I'm going to make that for Sarah. She would love it.
After closing the day with an amazing camp dinner and a nice chat around the fire, we couldn't wait for the following day's adventure.
It gets better the more you eat it too. Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Brother, that is mental. Love it.
Because I decided to give all that room in that X1 stand to Yois and Juliana, I got to experience camping in a swag, which that's a pretty Aussie way of camping. It's not bad, I really liked it, until I saw this right outside my door. A Scolopendra centipede. These are widespread throughout Australia. Even though they're not poisonous, its bite will make you miserable for a couple of days. This morning, we say goodbye to Christian and Sarah. They need to go back to school, and they have to cut short this adventure. After a quick breakfast, we left Cathedral Beach on our way to beautiful Champagne Pools.
Did amazing. What do you think?
I was super
What do you
happy.
think? That was
Nervous
fun.
but happy.
You
Excited.
did great. I love it.
Sharks and dolphins all playing around in here, and the water gets crystal clear, but the wind's obviously blowing the wrong way for that. We'll get very lucky to spot a whale out there with what's going on, all those breakers out there. But this is one of the most beautiful, most scenic parts of the island, you know. It's all beautiful, but it's very, very scenic here, you know.
We arrived to Champagne Pools. I think we were all waiting to see this fantastic place on Gary.
Why is it called Champagne Pool?
I would say, I don't know for a fact, but I would say when and hopefully if we get down there and the tide's still low enough that the break's going over the top, the water bubbles up kind of like a spa bath and it looks like champagne. And I would say that's 100% where it's got its name from. Again, I don't know if that is fact. But when you see it when we get down there, it's beautiful.
Champagne Pools on Fraser. Hugging the side of a rocky cliff, the 700-meter-long boardwalk takes you to the fabulous ocean-level pools that, when mid-tide, the breaking waves create a natural bubbly spa. Under the right conditions, the pools are safe for a refreshing dip in the water, and the kids can play on the sand of this secluded beach. Also, when the season is right, humpback whales can be seen from here.
Look how happy he looks. They just want to give him a big cuddle.